Hey guys, how's it going? All Things Sports by Mike McIntyre here, and I'm here today to bring you a new video on a new pair of Pumas. Now, I just did a video on the Puma Evopower 1.4 SLs. That was thanks to a teammate of mine, Payman Kabiri. And that was the first time I ever did an unboxing of a pair of Puma shoes. Recently, I've been very interested in them. I think they've done a great job over the last few years revamping their lineup, creating shoes that I think will compete with Nike and Adidas, shoes that I think people will want to buy, which in turn will obviously sell for the company itself. So I've been interested. I think they've done a great job. I picked up a pair of Pumas for myself. So this is my first pair of Pumas that I've ever had. So I'm very, very excited to bring you a new video on them. So without anything else to say really, as far as an introduction goes, we'll get right into the unboxing and we'll show you what is inside. So with this Puma product, these are the new Evopowers 1.2. Get them out of the box. Now, these are the new Puma Evopower 1.2s. They are the standard synthetic version because they do make a leather version if you're interested as well. But I find myself really interested in these new synthetics nowadays. I think all companies are doing a fantastic job creating these super soft synthetics that mimic the characteristics of natural leather. So I went ahead and I got the synthetic version, and we'll just go over the tech specs, all the sort of technology, if you will, within the shoe, because there is a fair bit in the new Evopower. So we'll just talk about the colorway, we'll talk about the tech specs, and we'll just go over the shoe, and there'll be a little bit of an on-feet portion at the end, just so you guys are interested. So without anything else really to say, let's just talk about the colorway quickly. So these are the new, they came out maybe 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, about a month ago I think now. And this is the white lava blast and total eclipse colorway. So that's what Puma calls it. So obviously it's got this white finish along the upper, the main part of the upper, and it's a very unique finish. It's not like a metallic shiny finish. It's almost like a matte white, and it's very unique to the eye, I guess. When you have it in person, it's very, very unique. So I like it. It's a white, but it's kind of a matte finish white, if that makes any sense. So you have white for the upper. You've got this orangey pinkish color. It almost looks like a pomegranate color. It's almost the best way to explain it. I don't know how it's going to appear on camera. It might look a little orangey, I guess is the best way to put it. But in person it's not a bright orange. It's kind of like a pomegranate pinkish orange, if that makes any sense. So that's the orange color, and you can see the sole is that color. The heel is, as well as the laces and tongue, and it also features that color along the grip technology, which I'll talk about later on in the video. And then the last colorway, the Total Eclipse, is kind of I guess it's meant to be like a dark navy blue, but it almost looks black with this sort of metallic, sparkly finish on the inside of the color. So that runs along the Puma stripe here, if you will. I'm not sure what they actually call that. You've got this Evopower branding here in black, and then you have that Total Eclipse color again for the Everfit cage, and this too has that metallic, sparkly finish on it. And then the studs themselves, the tip of the studs, are that Total Eclipse color. So that's basically the colorway. I think it looks very sharp. It's very, 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 not classic, but it incorporates that classic look with the white and then a bit of, I'm not sure, shiny kind of flashy colors. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. You know, it's got the white, but then it does incorporate some flashy colors to give you a very good looking boot, I think. I think my favorite colorway of the Evopower 1.2 since they've come out were the white Hawaiian Ocean colorway and then these ones. So I was actually between those two when I bought them, and then I decided to go for this new colorway. It's a little newer, a little fresher, so I thought I would go with that. So that is the colorway. Next we'll just talk about the tech specs, the upper, the materials used within the shoe. So the Evopowers are made out of the upper material from this seam here, from the heel all the way around to the Everfit cage on the other side over here, is all made from this Adapt Light material, and you can see that branding they put right down there. It says Adapt Light. So that is a microfiber synthetic is what Puma's calling it. It's they describe that material on the Puma Evo Speeds, the standard synthetic versions as well, and they implement that on the Evopower. So that's what they call it, a microfiber synthetic. So it's very, very soft, very flexible. I believe it will, well, it's not new news, I guess, but this material will stretch in one direction. So it will stretch in order to keep to form your foot in a sense, but it won't overstretch to the point where you need new shoes because they've overstretched, if that makes any sense. So there will be a bit of give to these shoes, I believe, but they won't give enough that they overstretch and eventually you just can't wear them anymore because they become almost too flimsy, if that makes any sense. So that is what's used on the main part of the upper. Then they use a synthetic material, I guess, for the heel because that is a bit, it doesn't have the same finish. It's just a synthetic material, and that is stitched. They combine the two with this sort of seam here. I actually don't mind the way this looked. I know that some people sort of complained and were almost a little worried about how that seam would hold up, but I think it actually looks quite fine. It's this little piece of material that they put over the seam almost just to protect it, that extra layer of reinforcement. And I think it looks actually quite good. It provides this sort of cool looking effect. So I think it looks great actually. So you got that synthetic material in the heel. You have your EverFit cage technology here, and then the tongue is this synthetic leather material it's got 3 sort of foam pads that are built into the tongue, which are actually quite substantial, and they're designed at least to cut down on lace bites. When you pull the laces tight, you won't feel those laces digging into the top of your foot because that tongue there is protecting that sort of sensation, I guess. So that is the upper material as far as materials go. But then Puma has also incorporated a few other technologies into the Evopower 1.2. So the EverFit cage here is designed. I'm a little confused, to be honest, on what this is supposed to do. I mean, it's supposed to provide a better fit and provide some more support. I don't know if confused is the right word, but I think this is a little gimmicky. I don't think this will actually do much. But it's got a nice design element. I mean, I like the way it transitions from that white to this total eclipse color to the orange. I think it looks pretty cool. So for that, I mean, it's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I just don't think it will alter the experience in any significant way. I don't think it will really change the way the shoe fits or performs or anything like that. I still think whether this was there or not, it would still fit and be as stable as it would with any other material. So that's the EverFit cage. You've also got this grip text material. So Puma put these sort of inlays on the upper material on the striking area of your foot to just provide a bit more grip. It's not like a Predator Instinct where it's got a lot of grip. Even with those, some people argue, oh, it's not the shoe that makes any difference, it's the player. I agree 100%. But there's obviously more substantial material, rubber, on the Predator Instincts. It's there. You can feel it to the touch, but it's very, very minimal. I don't think it will have that much of an effect on the ball, to be very honest. It might add a little bit of grip playing in wet conditions, because that is also the idea, but it's definitely not as substantial as, say, the Predator Instinct. So nonetheless, that is that grip text technology. So that is that orange sort of pattern implemented upon the inside of the foot here, the striking area. So you've got that. Then there's also these AccuFoam pads. So all this sort of raised surface, if you can see it on the camera, these raised sort of areas on the upper are all this AccuFoam pads, and that's there to provide a bit more comfort, a bit more padding, a bit more, I'm not really sure how to describe it, but just a bit more cushion, I suppose, to that upper material, just to give it a bit more forgiveness, a bit more comfort, I think, is the bottom line. And to a certain extent, I guess it's to provide a bit of protection. I mean, it's very thin. It's not going to take away a blow to the top of the foot should you get stepped on or something like that, but it's nice to know that it's there if that makes any difference. So I think it looks good. I think it feels quite good. You can definitely feel a bit of extra paddedness on those areas of the foot, and I think it looks really, really good, and I hope it performs well. I've heard absolutely nothing really as far as the AccuFoam pads and performance. So I think it will do a good job of what it's designed to do. Of course, it won't be a game changer if that's how you want to describe it. So that's the upper. So we've talked about the AccuFoam pads, we've talked about the grip text, we've talked about the EverFit cage. And the last little bit of technology, I guess, would be on the sole. So this was implemented on the first Evopowers, the Evopower 1s. This, on the bottom here, it says GSF. So it's very, very faint, but it's just carved out sort of in the sole. And that stands for Gradual Stability Frame. So the idea here is Puma wanted to create a shoe that would sort of bounce back with the natural shape of a foot when someone strikes a ball. So I guess when someone actually hits a ball, their foot naturally sort of curves down, right? If this is the ball, the foot sort of naturally curves down, flexes, and then as it hits the ball, it bounces back. So Puma wanted to copy or remake that sort of sensation within a real soccer shoe. So the idea is that the sole would be stiff where it needed to be, but it would flex in order to get that natural sensation of the foot. So I have the paper still in the shoe, actually. Take that out just so I can show you. The shoe actually bends backwards, so obviously you can see, and it bends quite easily. Like you could probably do that with another pair of shoes, but it would be much more difficult, and it would feel sort of against the grain of what the shoe's trying to do, if that makes any sense. It wouldn't flex that easily. This one, just no problem. I can push on it. I've even seen people just curl their toes, and you can see that it slightly flexes a little bit like that. So it's stiffer here. You can see this sort of spine that runs through the midfoot and the heel, and that will create that stiffness, that stability where you need it when you're changing directions, running around. But in the forefoot, it gets much more flexible, so that shoe actually bounces back with the natural shape of your foot. So as you come in to strike that ball, that foot flexes, strikes the ball properly, and then rebounds. I don't think it will, again, make your shot faster, make your shot harder, improve your shot overall. But it's a nice little idea, and I think I'm very curious to see how it actually performs, because I've never worn these myself. Like I said, this is my first pair of Puma shoes, so very, very excited. And I think they've done a lot. There's a lot of elements on this shoe that they've tried to develop in order to make that experience better. So I think Puma's done a fantastic job with these shoes. They've gained quite a bit of popularity, and to be honest, I think it's a shoe that's still sort of overlooked. I think a lot of people would really enjoy the experience in the shoe, and I haven't even tried it yet. So I'm just really, really excited, and I think a lot of other people should. I'm going to do a follow-up review, and I'll let you know the final thoughts on that. But I do think a lot of people kind of overlook Puma right now, and I think they've done a great job. So that is the sort of technical specifications. We've talked about pretty much everything. We've talked about the materials, the colorway, and all the sort of technical aspects of it. I'll just show you the insole, and then we'll talk about weight quickly. So even still have the sticker on it. So this is the insole. So it's actually quite unique, this insole, I find. As you can see in the insole, I'll talk about that too. Puma creates this, they're sort of known for this anatomical shape, and you can really, really see it with this insole. You can see that this big toe sort of comes to a point, and even on the shoe here, it's not completely rounded, it's pointed towards that big toe. So you can see that with the insole, but the insole is very, it provides a nice cup, especially for the heel. If you can see here that it's really cut to cradle that heel, sort of provide a lot of cushion. It's got this suede sort of finish on the top, and it says Evopower 1 and Power Cell in that sort of graphic there. And then on the bottom, they've even added a second layer of foam, if you will. So in the heel, you've got that raised sort of layer of foam, and in the forefoot as well. So that is the insole. Again, I mean, nothing's crazy, nothing special, but they have added an extra layer of foam to the insole, hopefully to just create a little bit more cushion, and if it doesn't create more cushion, hopefully it will just add a bit of longevity to the sole, so the insole, sorry, so that it doesn't thin out as quickly as other shoes would, because you have that second layer of foam. So that is the insole. And then the last thing we'll just talk about quickly before I put them on is weight. So they're extremely light. I think they weigh in at 7.2 ounces or something like that, very, very close to that 7.5 ounce mark. So we'll just say that. They are very, very light. They're right up there with some of the speed boots now. I mean, they have this very light sole here. The frame, the gradual stability frame, provides a very light sole for them. And then the materials themselves, I guess they're not heavy. It's a synthetic material. It's thin, it's comfortable, it's flexible, and I think they've done a great job with the shoe. So that is it. That's pretty much everything to discuss as far as tech and the unboxing portion of the video. Just stay tuned quickly. I'll be right back. I'll put them on, and I'll just describe the way they feel and how they fit right out of the box quickly. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, so there is a look at the Puma Evopower 1.2s on feet. So from right out of the box, they are quite comfortable. They are very, I don't want to say very tight, but they're a tighter fitting shoe. I guess most shoes nowadays kind of are. As soon as you get them from right out of the box, they're quite snug. You can wear them, a lot of shoes you can wear from right out of the box and they don't feel that stiff, if you know what I mean, compared to shoes in the past. But these are a tighter fitting shoe. They are quite comfortable, but they definitely are a tighter fitting shoe. There you get a look at them. They're not narrow, but like I said, they are a tighter fitting shoe. So I actually have very wide feet, and I fit into them quite comfortably. Once I wear them and I get a few practices and games in them, I believe they will stretch out a little bit, slightly, just to form to my foot to get a bit more of a comfortable fit. And they'll probably feel even more comfortable and soften up quite a bit in a few practices, because they are a very, very comfortable shoe. Excuse me. I want to mention the anatomical toe. So if you can sort of notice how the big toe sort of comes to a point. If you've never worn a pair of Pumas, some people do mention it, so it's just something worth noting. Compared to most normal shoes, they're just completely rounded. These have that sort of anatomical shape where the big toe comes to the point. You don't really notice it at all, to be very, very honest. I don't think it makes any difference in the world. It's kind of a unique shape, sort of forms to the shape of a natural human foot, but I don't really notice a difference, to be honest, as far as fit goes. So they look good. I think they feel quite good from right out of the box. I don't really notice any noticeable stud pressure just standing on them in my room, but we'll discuss that when I do the follow-up review. So that's pretty much it, guys. They fit. I think they fit true to size. Some people say Pumas run a half size small, so order half size up. I got my normal size, and I think they fit just fine. I mean, my toe is right at the end, just like my Predators and all the other shoes I wear. So I would recommend going true to size in the Evopowers. You can probably get away with going a half size up if you're worried about them being way too tight. But I think they do fit true to size for the most part compared to what other people have said. So that's something I think worth noting. And that is a look at the Evopower 1.2s on feet. I'm just going to do a little wrap up of the video, and I'll see you guys in a second. Alright guys, so that's it for my unboxing / review of the Puma Evopower 1.2s. I hope you liked the video. Please leave a like to support it if you enjoyed it. It will really, really help me out. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them down in the comments. I will get an answer out to you if it's about the Pumas or any other shoe or any other videos. Please leave those comments down in the comment section. I'd be very, very interested in hearing what you guys think. And without anything else, really, that is it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I will do a follow-up video on these in a few weeks' time at some point, after I get a few wears in them, after I break them in. And get a few sort of, reliable things to say in them. I don't want to just make a follow-up video after just wearing them once. I want to make sure I really kind of get my use out of them and see how they're going to truly perform for the majority of their lifespan. So I'll do a follow-up video once I get those sessions in, and I'm really excited, guys. I think they look great. I think they have a lot of tech in them that at least try to benefit the footballer. So I think they're going to be really, really good. I'm excited to wear them. And I want to thank you guys for watching the video. So, like I said, any comments, go ahead, leave them down below. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, please do so. There will be a lot more videos coming. And thanks for watching, guys. Take care.